That house had a way of swallowing sound. Even the city outside seemed to stop breathing when you stepped through its gates. Thick walls, tall hedges, long corridors, designed not for comfort, but for control. She had worked there long enough to feel it. The silence was not peaceful, it was deliberate. She arrived early that evening, as she always did. The schedule never changed. Same entrance, same hallway, same quiet nod from security, who barely remembered her face. She was not supposed to exist in their world. She was supposed to clean it. The billionaire's wife was already home. That was unusual. Usually she stayed out late. Dinners, events, meetings that never seemed to end. But that evening, she was sitting alone in the living room, her back straight, her hands folded tightly in her lap. She did not look up when the cleaner passed, but the cleaner noticed something immediately. The necklace was missing. For years, the woman had worn it like armor. Even on nights when she looked exhausted, even when her smile felt forced, the necklace was always there. Heavy diamonds, perfectly cut, cold light against warm skin. It was more than jewelry, it was a statement, and now it was gone. The cleaner moved quietly, pretending not to notice anything. That was her skill. That was how she survived. You see everything, but you act as if you see nothing. Still, that absence stayed in her mind. She worked her way down the corridor, polishing surfaces that were already clean, fixing pillows no one would use. The house smelled faintly of expensive perfume and something sharper underneath. Tension has a scent, and she recognized it. Voices drifted from the study, low, controlled. The billionaire's voice was calm, as always, not loud, never loud. He did not need to raise his voice to be heard. The wife's voice was different. It trembled, not with fear, with restraint. The cleaner paused, her hand still resting on the edge of a table. She told herself not to listen. But then she heard the word that made her chest tighten. Evidence. The wife said it slowly, as if choosing each letter with care. I know what it means, she said. Silence followed. Not the quiet of rest, the quiet of a decision being made. The cleaner stepped back, her heart beating too fast. She moved into the guest hallway, forcing herself to focus on the work. The sound of her own breathing felt too loud. Minutes passed. Then something changed. The air itself seemed to shift. She heard footsteps, faster now, uneven. Then a sound she had never heard in that house before. A short, dull impact. Not a crash, not a scream. Just a sound that did not belong. Her instincts told her to leave, to put down her supplies and walk out the door and never come back. But before she could move, she heard her name. Her real name. Spoken clearly, she turned slowly. The study door was open. The billionaire stood inside. The room was dim, lit only by a desk lamp. Shadows stretched across the floor like long fingers. He looked at her without expression. I need you, he said. Her legs felt weak as she stepped inside. The wife was on the floor. Her body lay at an angle that did not look natural. One arm twisted slightly beneath her, her head turned to the side. Her eyes were closed. The cleaner froze. Time slowed in a way she had never experienced before. Every detail burned itself into her memory. The rug, the corner of the desk, the faint mark on the wall near the bookshelf. She wanted to scream. She wanted to run. Instead, she stood there, invisible. The billionaire walked past her calmly and opened a drawer. Inside, resting on dark velvet, was the necklace. He picked it up carefully, as if it were fragile, as if it mattered more than the woman lying motionless on the floor. He wrapped it in a cloth and placed it in the cleaner's hands. His fingers brushed against hers. They were warm. Take this, he said. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. You were not here, he continued. You did not hear anything. You did not see anything. He looked directly into her eyes. This is important, he said, for all of us. She shook her head slightly, barely noticeable. "I can't," she whispered. He did not raise his voice. He did not threaten her. He simply leaned closer. "You can," he said, "and you will." There was no anger in his tone, only certainty. "You have family," he added quietly. "You need this job. You need stability." Her hands were shaking so badly she almost dropped the necklace. Fear made the decision for her. She nodded. He stepped back, satisfied. "Go home," he said. "Someone will contact you." No. She left the house carrying something that felt heavier with every step. That night she did not sleep. She sat on the edge of her bed, the necklace hidden beneath old clothes, her mind replaying the image of the wife on the floor again and again. By morning, the house was full of people. The wife was declared dead. A heart condition, they said. The billionaire cried in front of cameras. He spoke of love, of loss, of pain. The necklace was reported missing. The cleaner did not return to work. Instead, she received a call. And then money, more than she had ever earned in years. No explanation, no questions, just silence. And the understanding that once you accept something like that, you can never go back. The days after that night passed in a strange blur. Time did not move forward. It circled. Every morning she woke up thinking she had imagined it, that maybe it was a dream created by exhaustion and fear. And every morning, the weight in her chest reminded her that it was real. She avoided mirrors. Whenever she caught her own reflection, she saw someone else staring back. Someone older, someone quieter, someone who now carried a secret that did not belong to her. The necklace stayed hidden. She wrapped it carefully and placed it at the bottom of her closet, beneath clothes she no longer wore. She never touched it unless she had to. Even then, she avoided looking directly at it. It felt wrong, like it was watching her. The news played constantly in the background. The billionaire appeared everywhere, on television, on websites, in photographs that captured him with red eyes and trembling hands. He spoke softly. He said his wife had been fragile. He said she had health issues. He said he wished he had been there for her more. People believed him. They wanted to believe him. A man like that did not fit their idea of evil. He built companies. He created jobs. He smiled at charity events. He shook hands with politicians. And he mourned beautifully. No one asked why the security cameras inside the house had malfunctioned that night. No one asked why no autopsy was performed. No one asked why the necklace was missing. The cleaner watched it all from her small apartment. She stopped answering calls from friends. She stopped visiting family. She told herself it was temporary, just until things calmed down, just until the danger passed. But the danger never left. It lived in her phone, in the way she jumped whenever it rang, in the way her heart raced whenever an unknown number appeared on the screen. He called only once, not directly. A short message appeared on her phone late one evening. "Everything is fine. Do not worry. No signature, no explanation." But she understood the message clearly. Silence was still required. Then she noticed something else. The money. It had been transferred quietly, labeled as compensation, a bonus, a thank you. The amount made her feel sick. It was not generosity, it was insurance. She did not spend it. She did not move it. She let it sit untouched, like a reminder of the line she had crossed. At night, she dreamed of the study, the shadows, the stillness, the way his voice never changed. She began to realize that the necklace was not just a piece of jewelry. It was leverage. Weeks turned into months. The case faded from the headlines. The wife became a memory, a photograph, a tragic story with a neat explanation. But the house did not forget. One afternoon, a detective knocked on her door. He was polite, calm, almost apologetic. He said they were closing loose ends, routine questions. She invited him in, her hands shaking as she poured tea. He asked about her work schedule, her duties, her relationship with the family. She answered carefully. too carefully. Then he asked about the necklace. Her heart dropped. He said they were tracking valuable items that had gone missing after the wife's death. He said her name had come up. She denied everything. The lie came out smoother than she expected. He watched her closely. Then he left. That night, she knew the silence was breaking. She took the necklace out for the first time in months. Under the dim light of her kitchen, it looked different, less beautiful, more dangerous. She noticed something she had not seen before. A small detail, a marking inside the clasp. Numbers, not decorative, intentional. She remembered overhearing conversations in the house, mentions of documents, contracts, agreements tied to assets no one else knew about. The necklace was not a gift, it was a key. She searched online, slowly, carefully. The numbers matched a private registry, a legal structure tied to offshore accounts. Accounts the billionaire had never disclosed publicly. The wife had not just threatened to leave, she had threatened to expose him, and the necklace was proof that she had access. That night in the study had not been emotional. It had been calculated. The cleaner sat alone in her apartment, realizing she had been holding the center of something far larger than herself. Fear changed shape. It was no longer just fear of him. It was fear of what would happen if the truth came out. Because powerful men do not fall quietly, and people like her are usually the ones crushed when they do. The detective returned days later. This time, he did not ask about the necklace. He asked about the night. Her voice shook as she answered. He did not interrupt. He listened. When she finished, the room was silent. He asked one final question. Why didn't you come forward sooner? She did not have a good answer. She had many answers. Fear, money, power, survival. But none of them felt enough. The truth, she realized, was simpler. She had stayed silent because silence had been taught to her her entire life. The detective left without saying what would happen next. Days passed. Then police cars appeared outside her building. The necklace was taken as evidence, and the story began to change, slowly, painfully. The billionaire denied everything. He said she was lying. He said she stole from them. But cracks began to appear. Phone records, financial transfers, security logs that did not align with his statements. The truth did not rush out. It crept. And with every step closer, the cleaner understood one thing clearly. Once the truth fully surfaced, nothing would protect her anymore. Not silence, not obedience, not fear. When the truth finally reached the public, it did not arrive like an explosion. It arrived like a slow collapse. At first, it was small details. A phone call at the wrong time. A transfer of money labeled as something harmless. A security system that failed too perfectly. The billionaire stood before investigators with the same calm expression he had always worn. He spoke clearly, confidently. He said the cleaning woman was confused. That grief had distorted her memory, that she had stolen the necklace and invented a story to protect herself. People wanted to believe him, because believing her meant accepting something uncomfortable. That power does not always shout. That control does not always leave bruises. That some crimes are committed quietly, in rooms designed to hide sound. The cleaning woman testified. Her voice trembled, but she did not stop. She described the study, the shadows, the stillness, the way the wife lay on the floor as if she had simply been placed there. She described the necklace being handed to her, not thrown, not hidden in panic, handed over with intention. She described his voice, how it never changed. The courtroom listened, not with sympathy, with doubt, because doubt is easier than belief. Then the experts spoke. They explained the markings inside the necklace, the legal structures, the private access it granted, the financial trails leading to accounts the billionaire had sworn did not exist. They explained why the wife had stopped wearing it, because she no longer needed to. She already knew what it unlocked. The argument that night was not about love. It was about exposure. It was about survival. The billionaire's lawyers argued there was no proof of murder, and they were right. No autopsy, no witnesses to the moment itself, only circumstances, only silence. Only a woman who cleaned floors and carried the truth until it nearly destroyed her. In the end, the charges were limited. Obstruction, fraud, coercion, enough to stain his reputation. Not enough to take his freedom. He paid fines that barely touched his wealth. He stepped away from public life. He disappeared behind gates and lawyers and carefully worded statements. The wife remained officially a victim of natural causes. No headline ever called it murder. The cleaning woman was cleared of theft, but freedom did not feel like relief. Her name had been dragged through headlines, her face shared across screens, her motives questioned by people who had never been afraid of losing everything in a single moment. She moved away. She changed her number. She took a job where no one knew her story. At night, she still dreamed of the study, of the necklace resting heavy in her hands, of the choice she made when fear decided for her. She often wondered if speaking sooner would have changed anything, if the outcome would have been different, or if power had already written the ending long before she stepped into that room. The necklace was locked away as evidence, never returned, never worn. Its diamonds dulled by meaning. It became a reminder that truth does not always arrive in time to save the dead. Sometimes it only arrives in time to expose the living. And the real question this story leaves behind is not about guilt or innocence. It is about silence, because silence can protect you, and silence can destroy you. And when you are standing in the shadow of someone who controls everything, silence often feels like the only choice you have. So if you had been there that night, holding that necklace, knowing what it meant, knowing who stood in front of you, would you have spoken immediately, or would you have stayed silent too? Let me know in the comments.